Yeah. A lot of the time you can tell, right, when you see a performer on stage and you're like, nah, they're not feeling it.
Yep.
It's so nice and polished and clean, and they're just going through the motions.
Yep.
Now.
Yep. You know, you gotta see people, you know, being in the moment, and it's extremely hard for big touring bands, I think, that are banking up. You know, I know that In Heart's Wake this year, you know, those guys toured for 3/4 of the year. They started their tour here, nationally. They went to Europe. They went to the States. They came back here nationally again. Went back to Europe, and change things up. If you're doing that, change the setup, change the song, change it around a little bit. You know, to keep it fresh, not just going through the same stuff, because you're going to get bored of it every night. But it must just be, I don't know, I've never done that, but it must be incredibly hard for these bands that tour for that length of time, doing the same thing, trying to keep it fresh.
What helps me here is working out different versions. Like, for example, if I have a full band version of a song, I would also have like an electronic version of it.
Or an acoustic version.
And an acoustic version. So, and something that also I'm able to do with an acoustic guitarist or with myself on a piano. There was a really funny story, like my friends from Arhangelsk probably remember this. There was a huge electricity blowout at the venue. A ramp just exploded in my face, and there was no light. There was no light at the club at all. So people just brought the candles from their tables to the piano. Luckily there was an acoustic piano, and I just did the rest of the show with candles in the piano and people sitting on the floor. It was awesome.
So there's no light or electricity?
Nothing.
Yeah, I've seen that, and I've had that happen myself as well too, where we're just totally, but there was no, we lost power up on the stage power went out. So yeah, you have to improvise with what you're going to be doing. Again, you have to have this is plan B and C really, you know, what are you going to do? Are we going to do it acoustically? Are we going to go into a version of We Will Rock You that the whole crowd can get into? Are there some songs that you can interact with the crowd?
Yeah.
Where we can sing together? I've seen a clip on YouTube where Green Day were playing some huge big festival and they got the crowd to sing Bohemian Rhapsody. So the whole crowd sang Bohemian Rhapsody all the way through. Yeah, pretty much a cappella. So you've always got to have those things. But we're getting a little bit off track here. We need to bring it back to with.
But I feel like it's still about the confidence, just having multiple versions of the pieces rehearsed and prepared. It will add another layer of confidence. Like, what do you do if something goes wrong?
Yep.
You know exactly what you do. You don't just work with what you've got.
Yep.
Because you have it worked out.
For sure, even if you're having a bad night vocalist, say, okay, look, let's come in and do the acoustic version. You know, I know that 30 Seconds to Mars, whatever it is, Jay Leno, whatever his name is, maybe I got the wrong, but he always does The Kill acoustically. Maybe to break the setup. I probably think that he probably can't sing it in the original key that it's done, so it always brings it down. But it just changes it up a little bit, which is good. So you can always change things up like that. So.
And there's nothing wrong about singing in a different key, because every performance in the studio is a heightened version of the song. It's like the ideal version of it that all artists are striving towards. It's absolutely impossible to do this constantly. If you can get this one awesome, fantastic take, if you can comp out this beautiful, perfect version of it, and then repeat it exactly the same every single night, probably you didn't do your job at the studio. You probably didn't give it your all.
I think that's a great thing, and I tell it to all of I do a lot of pre-production. I probably spend, honestly, I would have to spend a quarter of my teaching week doing pre-production for recordings. So that means people are bringing in their songs that they're about to record in the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months, whenever it is. They generally bring their first, most important 5 or 6 tracks in. I spend at least a third to a quarter of my teaching week doing pre-production. And I always say, I don't care whether you can pull this off live. we need this to be the best version you can in the studio, because that's what people are always going to gauge you off. We listen to the Beatles albums, and they're always going to go off what the version is on the album, and then the live version. And you've heard many of your favourite artists, instead of going for the big high note, they will come down and do a triad to come down off the note. Or if the note's inclined, they will decline the note instead, still in the same key, same different melody. So it's just to save your voice as well too. Again, tuning down is a big one. Most touring bands would always generally tune down. Most people don't even know the difference, but most big bands, they will tune down if they're touring for long periods of time to save their voice. So it's always about, when you're touring, it's about making it to the last show with sounding great. So it's a marathon. You've got to think of the long game when you've got big tours like that. We should actually, we'll have a segment about that, about tour preparation and doing that. I think it'll just be for a very small group of people that are touring. We'll go into tour preparation and what happens and what I do to get my guys up and gig ready for touring. You know, in Heart's Wake, Airborne, a lot of these guys do really big tours. You know, banking shows up months on end in Europe and the States, especially Europe. So we'll have a segment about that. But going back to confidence, is there anything else that you want to add about what you think that we've discussed here that you can add value to someone there that's...
Lack of confidence is just lack of preparation. That's all I can say. If you are not feeling confident, it means you know really, really well that you didn't do something that you could. So go and do that.
Yep. I think knowing yourself and knowing your abilities is the best thing that you can do, and then play to your strengths, play to the keys that best suit your voice, songs that best suit your voice, and go to your strengths. I know that we're all inspired by other singers. That's how we got into this. I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for the Beatles. And we're all inspired to sing like that, but do the best with what you can do. And definitely have your idols, but just do the best with what you can do. You know, that's really the big thing. So I think is doing the best, and you've got to put the work in. You know, I think taking it back to one of my students, Chris DeCinque from Closure in Moscow, when he came into me, he wasn't in Closure in Moscow. He was in his band previously before that, and you know, a very shy, would come in sort of like this, wouldn't give me direct eye contact, and really. You know,
because you're scary.
People have said that I am a big intimidating bastard. I don't think I'm big. I don't think I'm intimidating. I think that a lot of people with me, and this is not just teaching, but everyone's got an opinion. But I tell them the truth nicely. If they're pitchy, I'm going to say, look, it's pitchy. It's no good saying, hey, peeing down someone's back and tell them it's raining. So I tell them the truth, and a lot of people don't like the truth. They live in this fantasy world of this is the way it is. Like, you know, when you come in today, I said, hey, Em, how's your day going? And you said, yeah, still alive. You know, and I would generally always answer you, hey, how's your day going? Yeah, great. You meet someone for the first time, you're going to say, no, my day has been crap. Because, you know, we don't have that rapport. Yeah. But, you know, I will always tell people the truth nicely, and I'm not just going to go and hammer them and say that was pitchy and that was crap or whatever it is.
There's no hope. You will never be anything.
I will always say that was a little bit pitchy. Here's how we're going to fix it. Here's how we're going to rectify it. Let's do this scale, or let's do this, or we're going to do some pitching, or I'm going to record an example of you doing that. And it's one of our big things that we do is if someone's not getting it, we give them a scratch track, we record it for them so they go home and practice it. Instead of them basically thinking of, where is this and how do I do this, we actually record the versions of it so that they can go home and do it. I do this a lot in my original, with guys that bring in original tracks that are searching for notes or big notes or whatever it is. So I think having confidence that way, I've just totally lost track of where we're going with this here, Em. But
the confidence and why are we not confident is just figuring out why and fixing that.
And working really hard. As I said, going back to Chris DeCinque from Closure in Moscow, working really hard, coming in, and just practicing. I remember working with Chris, and I remember his falsetto wasn't happening at all. Didn't have much falsetto. He's one of the probably best in and out of falsetto singers that you can probably get now, and really wanted to work on his high range. And we worked on his falsetto for months. Every lesson. Every week he'd come in and we'd just work on falsetto. Let's get falsetto until it's down. And we're doing Queen songs and going in and out of falsetto and doing stuff until it became very good. And he just put in the hard work and just worked and worked and worked. I think in the end as well too, when they got signed and they became big, he actually stopped working then. He was working a part-time job and he actually stopped working when they got signed, prepping for the album. He just said, I'm just going to work on my voice and get my voice the best that it can. And I personally think that First Temple is their best album that they've done. The first 6 songs on that are just absolutely amazing. It brings a smile to my face just thinking about the pop sensibility on the first 6 songs. And the whole album's great. The first 6 songs really yanked my crank and they really took it to the next level with that. But he really worked really hard. And even his stage performance as well too. Started very sort of timidly up on stage, a lot of pitching issues, but then really worked really hard. And that's really preparation and hard work as well too. Going back to your question, because we got lost there as well too, Em, is that yes, you've got to sometimes do the hard work and the things that you don't like doing. Like a football player might not like doing sprints, and if you don't like doing scales, you've got to do a little bit of it. That's the way. If you want to expand your high range, improve your high range, you've got to do high scales. If you want to improve your pitch, you've got to do octave numbers and the scales that we give our students to do pitching scales. You've got to record yourself, listen to yourself, and try to fix it yourself. If not, take it to your teacher, take it to a professional. So I think really preparation is the big thing, practice, and being confident in your abilities. But then once you've done it, take it to the world. Start going performing, go to karaoke, open mic nights, perform in front of your friends, put it on YouTube, and put it out there.
To summarize, I'd just like to give an actual step-by-step guide how to sort out your confidence. Identify the problem, why, fix this problem, and then just let it go. Just go and start auditioning, start recording, start doing the thing that you were not confident in, knowing that you are doing your best and not aiming for a result from the universe to magically land in your lap, but for something to happen to you in this regard, to get into a band that you like and they suddenly, their vocalist retired and they're looking for a new one. It happens all the time. You need to be prepared for this. Fortune favors the prepared, right? Is that how the saying goes?
It's actually fortune favors the brave, but yes, but
disagree. The braveness is important, but you need to prepare first and then be brave.
So yeah, I think being prepared is incredibly important, and you either want to be prepared for what is going to be coming. Always do that. There's a great YouTube clip out there, guys, and it's by I'm going to find it and put it in the link here because his name eludes me now. He's a public speaker, an Afro-American public speaker, and he was a radio announcer, but he had no experience, and he just goes on about how he was practicing at home, and then he just went to the radio station and said, "Can I please have a job here?" And he got knocked back, and he went back every day. And then the announcer, the boss said, "Yes, you can." Oh God, his name just eludes me now. Brown. His name's Brown.
You'll remember it.
Yeah, I will. When I must go about 5 seconds before I'm about to go to sleep, I'll go. Les Brown. His name's Les Brown. Please jump on YouTube. His name's Les Brown. About how Les Brown got his big break in radio, and he prepared and he practiced at home, and he didn't have any experience, and he went and asked the radio company owner for a job every day, and then about 4 or 5 days in, after going back every day, he got so annoyed, he said, "Go and get me some coffee." And then he was running errands and doing stuff, and then he was driving the big celebrities around to the radio station. And then one day he was there on a Saturday afternoon, just attending, giving coffee to the radio announcer. The radio announcer got very drunk while he was drinking, and he couldn't continue with the show. And the manager rang up and said, "Can you ring up the other DJs and see whether you can get them to come in?" And Les Brown goes, "You must be kidding me." And he rang back, he goes, "I can't get in contact with anyone." And he goes, "Can you control can you operate the controls?" He goes, "Dear sir, I can." He went, and that was his big break, and then he's never looked back, basically. But be prepared, that's a really big thing. So always be prepared. Yeah, I've got one, I've got a saying, perfect preparation equals perfect performance.
Yep.
That's a big thing with whatever we're doing. Excellent. Thanks, Em. Anything else you want to add before we head off here? We've gone over time again.
Leave us questions below, subscribe, whatever you do, press the silly button, follow, and that stupid bell down there. So get a free lesson.
Yeah,
Yay!
get a free lesson. If you've got a really great, interesting question, please put it in the comments. We are going to be going Facebook Live very shortly as well too. I also have been looking to a thing, there's also an email thing live that we can do as well too. So we're going to be going live, and we're going to be answering questions live shortly, but we'll let you know when that's going to happen. Probably in the new year, we'll go Facebook Live, and we'll get everyone on board, and we're just going to answer everyone's questions live.
Yay! High five!
Thanks, Em. Great to have you back again every week. Okay, we will rock you. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye!